has announced more anti-government protests on Wednesday next week, saying it will not relent in the quest to have the cost of living addressed. Now, the leaders who held a meeting at Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka's Karen office ruled out talks with the Kenya Kwanza administration, saying the government has not shown any will to address the plight of Kenyans and has instead turned their peaceful demonstrations into violence and chaos. Stephen Leto reports.
Azimio la Umoja coalition says it will escalate anti-government protests next week and is calling on supporters to turn up for Wednesday's planned protests across the country to mount pressure on President William Ruto to address their concerns.
Our peaceful countrywide demonstrations will continue next Wednesday. We are serving notice to all the OCSs across the country for the Wednesday peaceful demonstrations.
Peaceful, and we stress, by the way, peaceful and armed demonstrations. We call on our people to remain vigilant on that core. However much you feel provoked, don't harm any policeman. Leave it to them to harm you. The world is watching.
In a meeting to take stock on the three-day protest that ended yesterday, the leaders accused the government of using the police to turn their peaceful protest violent. The Azimio leaders ruled out engaging the Kenya Kwanza administration in talks despite increasing calls for dialogue from religious leaders and the diplomatic corps.
What sense does it make to meet with people who are already committing acts of genocide?
We further make it clear that we will pursue no engagements with Kenya Kwanza whatsoever until these hostilities and their perpetrators are apprehended.
Azimio now wants as an irreducible minimum the unconditional release of all its leaders and supporters arrested during the protests.
We demand the unconditional release of all the Azimio leaders and supporters who are still being held incommunicado.
The Azimio coalition further raised what it termed as ethnic profiling by police officers, raising an alarm over the door-to-door attacks conducted in Kisumu after the Friday demonstrations.
State-sanctioned genocide is underway in Luoland, particularly in Kisumu, Migori and Homa Bay. Similar executions have occurred in Kisii, Busia and Kericho.
Azimio leader Raila Odinga and NARC Kenya leader Martha Karua were not present in the current meeting.